Okay.
All
We're
right, that's
back.
better.
Okay. We're back.
Some technical glitches there, just trying to get both. We're on YouTube and we're on Instagram. So we're back and we're on.
So
let's just wait for some people to jump in here and we'll kind of get to it. You know, we had a busy day today. So
productive but busy. Yeah, just getting back into the swing of things still. Been back a week now. A week exactly from tonight. Yeah, still just kind of getting things in order.
We got the garden planted out front. It's like a 28 feet by 15 feet little plot in the front of our house.
Yeah.
And so we got that all planted and situated. So now we just get to sit back and kind of watch the stuff grow.
Yes, and then growing a ton of microgreens.
Yeah.
So we're gonna sell.
We were clearing out the garage today. We had some family members on my side of the family pass away from COVID. And so
this was months back.
And so we ended up having to clear out one of their homes, and it all ended up in our garage because we weren't here.
Yeah.
So we're kind of clearing that out and selling some of that stuff. And then we are
making room to grow microgreens in our garage.
So we're going to do a big microgreen operation here from the city homestead. And hopefully that does well for us. I think it will.
Yep. So let's get going. This is part 2 to the neurological talk. Last night we did a talk on the neurological system and the nerves, right?
Yeah, all the different nerves and how nerves are connected to symptoms. Right. So you might be dealing with these symptoms and you're like, okay, I'm dealing with this, I'm dealing with that. Well, what nerves are causing these symptoms? So yesterday we covered that. And today, what we're going to talk about is some things you can do to heal your neurological system.
Right? Yes, and using the medical medium techniques and things that have worked amazingly for Ben. So the main synopsis of this whole thing is that you are going to be, what you need to do is take away the food that is going to be feeding these bugs. And we need to kill those bugs, right? You can hear our dog in the background. He's drinking his water extremely loud. So how are we going to do that? You are going to use fruits, veggies, herbs, and wild foods as your weapon against these bugs, right? And then you need to eliminate the foods that are feeding the bugs.
Yeah, because one of the big things that is going on that we discussed yesterday was when you feed the bug eats, and then it goes to the bathroom. And when it goes to the bathroom, it goes to the bathroom inside of you. There's a membrane around the virus, and the virus feeds through that membrane and poops through the membrane. And then that poop is a neurotoxin, and that neurotoxin then gets in your body and inflames the different nerves we talked about yesterday. On top of that, you've got heavy metals. So if the virus is feeding off of those toxic heavy metals, then that neurotoxin that virus is pooping out is actually stronger than if it was just feeding off some of the foods that we're about to get into here.
Yep.
So let's eliminate the foods that feed viruses, and that's key. That's number 1 here. So what are those foods? So the first one is eggs. So we want to eliminate eggs. I know it's like, eggs are just something that we've been eating our whole lives, and now all of a sudden we got to give them up, right? And it's hard.
Yeah, that's a hard one because, so many people love their eggs, and it's known as like a health food everywhere. And unfortunately, it's the number one thing that feeds these viruses and bacteria. Um,
So in eggs, there's hormones, there's proteins, and there's enzymes, and those hormones, proteins, and enzymes go to a chick that's being developed in the egg to eventually hatch and then be a chicken, right? So those hormones, those enzymes, and those proteins are now going in your body, and they're being absorbed by the virus, and now you're making the virus grow, and the virus proliferate and become stronger and mutate and cause problems. So eggs are one of those foods that you want to eliminate. They're like the number one food. So swap out eggs, though. You can swap out eggs with like potatoes. Eggs or potatoes, they're antiviral and they're very filling, or you do avocados, so if you're trying to get yourself off eggs slowly, that's a way to do it.
yeah, that's great.
There's also dairy. Dairy is probably the second worst thing to feed viruses, so we want to avoid all those cheeses and those butters and the ice cream, and you can replace that stuff. I mean, there's nut cheeses out there that just taste like. We were making these quesadillas up at the property, and we used like a cashew cheese and a cassava flour tortilla, and it tasted just like a quesadilla you would have had when we were eating dairy.
I don't know. My phone keeps turning off. Oh, sorry, that's weird.
Okay. Well, yeah, so dairy, we want to eliminate the dairy, find replacements, not cheeses, not butters. Ice cream, you can replace that with like banana ice cream. We make a lot of banana ice cream, and that's good. All the dairy, the milk, you can replace that with oat milk. Anthony says that oats are okay to consume, and millet flour as well.
So then another thing that you want to eliminate that is feeding the viruses is gluten, and that's another big one. And as Ben just said, oats and millet are really, really good replacers for that. And now our dog is asking to go to the bathroom.
Can you talk? I'll go take him up quick.
Yeah. Like we said, so oats and millet would be a really good replacement. Those are gluten-free, and they're really easy on the digestive system. So those are great ones to incorporate when you're healing and you need a replacement for gluten. The next food would be corn. Now that's another big one that feeds pathogens. And like Ben also just said, there's really good replacements for that. So like there's these cassava flour tortillas that we will get when we want to have a tortilla. You can replace corn chips with, there's so many like great replacements out there right now. We would love to get the Siete cassava chips. And I know there's other brands that are starting to come out with these really great gluten-free, corn-free, grain-free chips everywhere. So those are really great replacements. That's an easy one to eliminate. So other troublemakers to avoid are some oils that are going to really wreak havoc on your body. So canola oil, that's a really big one that you want to stay away from. Even if it's non-GMO organic, it still feeds pathogens, and it stays in your body for like 6 months or in your system. So the viruses and the bacteria can still feed on it, for that amount of time because it's still in your body. So other oils to get rid of are like corn oil, cottonseed oil, palm oil, safflower oil, soybean oil, vegetable oil. These are all really highly inflammatory to your body. And like I was saying with the canola oil, they also feed the viruses, and it thins your blood which is then going to be preventing your body from absorbing any nutrients that you're getting from your fruits and veggies.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Ben's back. The dog, we tried to ask him to go to the bathroom before we started this, and of
He
course
went on a long walk today with his cousin Duke, so he was pretty wiped out. So you just talked about the oils.
The oils.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay. And then, there's like soft drinks as well. That's a big one. The soft drinks, they could contain aspartame and like high fructose corn syrup and flavoring and carbonation. They also contain a lot of natural flavors and like which is often like MSG. GMO beet sugar is another one, and a lot of them contain caffeine. And we know what caffeine does to the body. And if you don't, go watch Instagram, go check out our YouTube. We did a video talking about caffeine and some of the problems it can cause.
Yeah, we
to the body.
About the Medical Medium podcast and what he went over in his podcast about it.
Yeah, these, soft drinks are just all bad for the nerves. And, think of the can you're drinking out of. The can you're drinking out of is aluminum, so little pieces of aluminum break off in that can, they go in your body and they sink, and then they sit in the body, cause problems.
Yeah. Sorry, YouTube out. Okay, so other now, while these are not going to necessarily feed the virus, and that's something that people think about when they think of any probiotics from it, because they're all dead. It's like dead probiotics.
It's like the microorganisms are feasting off of the dead, and we want microorganisms that we bring in to be feeding off the living.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to avoid the fermented foods like kombucha, which is a drink, the sauerkraut, and even coconut aminos. So coconut aminos are okay to have every so often, which we'll have every so often, like in a stir fry. But while you're healing, and especially healing the nerves, you want to stay away from those things because they're not doing your body any good. And a lot of them contain vinegar, and vinegar is not good to consume at all, even if you're perfectly healthy, because it dehydrates your cells and it allows toxins to enter into your cells. So what this does is it just drives those toxins deeper and deeper into your tissues, and then it also pickles your organs, kind of like when a pickle turns to a pickle in a pickle jar.
Just happening to your liver.
Your liver and your other organs. So unfortunately, yeah, vinegar you should just stay away from in general.
And that's a tough one because like apple cider vinegar, and a big trend right now is doing your apple cider vinegar shots. And, people think that that's something that's actually doing good when it's actually something that is bad, because all of that healing that takes place, say you take that apple cider vinegar shot right before you drink your celery juice. Well, now the celery juice is not going to work as well because the liver is now trying to prevent that toxic vinegar causing problems to the liver. So now it's not focusing on bringing in that celery juice, which is going to heal the liver. Stay away from the vinegar.
Yeah. Another thing to remember is to not do excessive salt, because this can cause a lot of swelling and inflammation. And as most people know, it does dehydrate you. So keep the salt low. We usually, if we're going to have salt, we'll have it later, like with dinner, and not during the day. That way we can just get hydrated with all of our fruits, veggies, juices like that during the day. Yeah,
we're trying to prevent inflammation. We don't want to cause inflammation. So low on the salt,
So why don't you go into the next one?
Oh, okay. So alcohol is a pretty bad one too. Alcohol, we all used to partake in drinking. We haven't drank in quite some time now. And
yeah.
And it's allowed us to heal at a quicker rate. Alcohol dehydrates the cells. It's extremely toxic to the body. It's considered, like a food chemical. There's other food chemicals like MSGs and aspartame, which are neurotoxic to the nerves and will burn out your neurotransmitters. And we want to build neurotransmitters, not burn them out. This includes like natural or artificial flavors, nutritional yeast, citric acid, formaldehyde, and even preservatives.
The foods that are on the shelf. So read your labels. I mean, citric acids and a ton of things.
Yeah, have you guys ever wondered how like a McDonald's hamburger, you see these articles every once in a while, and it's like lady finds McDonald's hamburger in closet 5 years later, and it looks exactly like it did when she bought it.
No mold on it.
Well, how is that? It's being sprayed with something, and so yeah, I mean the preservatives are in everything, and so some we want to avoid. And then caffeine, we talked about that earlier. Coffee, chocolate, matcha tea, caffeinated teas, energy drinks. They're really aggressive. We're trying to repair the nervous system, so we don't want to cause further issue to the nerves. And drinking caffeinated beverages or consuming caffeine, that's just going to do some current for you. So
yeah. So those are the foods that you want to stay away from. There's also triggers that will also trigger your neural symptoms. There are a ton of these to go through, so we recommend that you look deeper into it and check out in Cleanse to Heal book pages. It's 37 through 40. But these are things that are around all the time, and you might not even realize it. And a lot of people don't even realize that they're actually bad for you. So it would be things that are chemical based, like colognes and perfumes, air fresheners, conventional makeup, beauty products, scented candles. Then there's like petrochemicals like gasoline, carpet cleaners, paint, plastics. And then there's even like fluoride and chlorine that's in our water system. We get exposed to radiation on a daily basis from our cell phones and everything else that is around us. There's also the fallout from nuclear disasters that is just in the air. And then we come in contact with x-rays, x-ray machines, things like that. So our bodies are up against a ton of triggers, and this does no good to the neurological system. And you want to do the best that you can to, especially if you're highly sensitive.
Yeah, we did some videos on the colognes and scented candles and air fresheners. So if you want to learn more, go check out our YouTube page. We do a couple videos on that. So
yeah.
So let's talk about the healing, right? We've been talking about all the things that they can't have. Let's tell them some things they can have.
All good stuff.
So in order to heal your brain and your central nervous system and all those nerves, your nerves are all fueled by glucose and mineral salts. Mm-hmm. So some veggies that you guys should be consuming, some asparagus, that's antiviral. I would eat that daily, and I love asparagus. You can eat it raw or you can cook it.
Best to steam it if you're going to cook it and not put any fat on it.
Yeah, no oil. So that's going to replenish the nerves. And then garlic, we talked about garlic yesterday and how garlic is currently being told that it isn't antiviral and antibacterial. And
it is.
It is. And there's a pandemic going on right now, and we're being told not to consume garlic when we should be consuming garlic.
It's going to protect you.
It's going to protect you. Mm-hmm. It's going to be your defense against these viruses. And like garlic, there's also onions. Try to consume all the different varieties of onions. Bring in as much onions as you can in different varieties, because you're going to get a little something from each one of those varieties.
Yeah. So you also want to make sure you get plenty of healthy mineral salts in. So where you're going to get these mineral salts from are leafy greens. So things like microgreens and sprouts, these are really high in zinc as well and help strengthen the immune system. And then some other leafy greens would be like spinach. This provides really great micronutrients to your nervous system. So it's really going to help heal those nerves. There's a really great spinach soup recipe by Medical Medium, and it is really great for your body. It's the best way that your body can absorb the spinach because it's all blended up. It's a raw dish, and it's really good. I will say the first time we had it though, we didn't like it. And that was like at the very beginning when we switched our diets to this plant-based diet. And then eventually our palates started liking it. And now we love it and crave it. So the spinach soup is just really good for your body in general. Kale is another leafy green to get those mineral salts in, and it is a great protection against viruses. Mosh. Now this is one that you don't really see everywhere. I know I've seen it in a store nearby our house, but it's also something that we started growing up at our farm. Nutty sort of taste to it.
It's good. We were putting it in our salad mixes and stuff.
Yeah.
And we had this like salad mix with mosh, watercress, and butterhead lettuce. It was super tasty. It was the most popular salad mix we were selling.
You guys should.
We were up north. Try it out. Mache.
We did.
Like us. And then we learned.
Mache.
And Anthony taught us.
Yes. And then all like lettuces basically. So just get in a mix of those leafy greens. They all have different nutrient properties to them. They're going to help cleanse the liver of viruses that are feeding and then hurting your nerves.
Pooping. Feeding.
Bathroom.
Yep. In you. And then, of course, you guys know that you got to be drinking your celery juice, right? So
yes.
16 ounces at least, but try to consume at least 32 ounces. And if you can do celery juice twice a day, like if you're dealing with severe neurological symptoms, do celery juice twice a day. Do 64 ounces. Do one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and then prior to that, drink your lemon water, and then after your celery, do your heavy metal detox smoothie. Remember, the celery breaks down the wall, the membrane on the virus. So the membrane has to be broken down in order for all this other stuff you're putting in your body to really go after, grab onto the virus and yank it out of there for you. So that's why we try to consume a salad for lunch, because the heavy metal sweeps everything out. If anything like that, that's what lettuce is good for. It will sweep all that stuff out of you.
Yeah, and I have two things to say.
Okay, let's hear them.
So the celery juice, if your body's okay with that and you're not too sensitive, then work your way up to the 32 ounces in the morning. And then you don't want to just like do your first time 64 ounces of celery juice, because that's going to be way too much on your body. So you want to work your way up to more celery juice. And then the other thing I wanted to say was, go back.
About the heavy metals.
No. Oh, I was going to say that the salads can they can be time consuming to make and then eat. So if you find that I don't have time to eat salads all the time, then make yourself a smoothie and pack in the leafy greens. So what I'll do for us is say we have spinach, I'll pack in a ton of spinach, and then I'll put some like banana, I'll put water, or coconut water, and then I'll take some frozen fruit like mangoes and strawberries, or maybe some frozen berries, blend that all together and bring in the leafy greens that way. You don't have time and you're like, I don't have time for these salads. go to a smoothie and packed in the leafy greens. So the other thing though with
speaking of smoothies.
Yeah, speaking of smoothies, so the heavy metal detox smoothie, that is really important to bring in daily, especially to heal from any sort of neurological symptom, because the metals in your body are feeding pathogens. And so in the smoothie, you have the wild blueberries, and what those are going to do is those are going to restore your central nervous system. They're going to remove the heavy metals, and then it also prevents oxidation, which is dying in your body, basically. You don't want
rust.
You don't want to oxidize.
It's the rust. You know, when the metal rusts, it oxidizes, it rusts, and that's the neurotoxin that's created.
Yeah.
And that's the neurotoxin we want to remove, because otherwise it gets saturated deep into our tissues and it gets up in the brain. I mean, you're going to be dealing with a lot of brain fog. You're going to be dealing with, 20 years from the brain fog, you could be dealing with dementia. Another 10 years, it could turn into Parkinson's or ALS. So, yeah.
And so that's one of the ingredients in the heavy metal smoothie. And then you have cilantro in there. Cilantro is antiviral, and this also removes metals like mercury and lead, which the viruses are feeding off of. And then here's a fun fact. So did you guys know that radish greens are like the most powerful leafy green there is out there? That is one thing we learned from medical medium. And the reason being is that they can remove all of these heavy metals from your body. So they hold just as much power as cilantro in removing the mercury, the lead, arsenic, aluminum, all from your body. So make sure you guys are bringing in radish greens. So really good for you. They fight off so many things. But the greens, put them in your salad, put them in your smoothies, eat those up because they're so good for you.
Yeah, don't throw away your radish greens. A lot of people just throw them away. When we were up north, we'd have to explain to people why you want to eat the greens.
And we sold them at the
most people would say they just threw them away. So eat your greens and eat a lot of radishes. They're good for you.
Yeah. So we've got wild blueberry, cilantro in that smoothie, and then we've got barley grass juice powder. So what this does is it draws out metals and it prepares the mercury to be absorbed by this ingredient, the spirulina. So there's 5 ingredients in this smoothie, and they all work together to really pull out these metals. So then you've got the spirulina, the 4th ingredient, and what it does is it then soaks up the metals that the barley grass had drew out of your body. And then we've got the 5th ingredient, which is like the guy that's at the end, making sure everyone's getting out, out of the fire in the building. And we've got the Atlantic dulse, which is a seaweed. And he is the emergency backup, and he's making sure all of those are getting soaked out of your body and removed, and just helping push them out. So those are the 5 main ingredients in the smoothie that work together to remove the metals. We use the Vinegar brand of the spirulina and the barley grass juice powder, and then make sure, because you want to make sure that those are really good, high quality. And then the wild blueberries, make sure you're getting the wild berries, which are in the frozen section at the grocery store, not the cultivated blueberries. Those are still good, but don't use those for the smoothie. Use those in a fruit bowl.
They don't work the same.
They don't work the same. Yeah. And you guys, Vinegar, they have an early Black Friday sale, and it ends tonight. I think today is the last day for that. So you should take advantage of that.
Oh yeah.
Really good discount.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
So, okay, so then you've got like other foods that remove metals too. It's not just like heavy metal detox smoothie. So like we were talking about cilantro. Throw cilantro on your salads. Throw some parsley on your salads, because parsley is going to remove the copper and the aluminum.
Yeah.
And, it's important seafood because seafood all contains metals in it. Now Anthony does say that, these are his words, if you choose to eat seafood, make sure it's small fish, so like trout or salmon or sardines, stuff like that. Those are small fish, meaning they're not going to soak up as much heavy metals. It's not going to soak up as much radiation. Not like tuna, where tuna is a big fish. It's going to soak up a lot of those metals, a lot of the radiation, and so that's the reason we don't eat seafood.
We just don't want to deal with it. So we're like, we're okay not having the seafood. So if you're going to eat it, stick to the small fish. But if you're healing from a chronic illness, you should really stay away from it during that time.
Yep. And then if you're dealing with like neurological spasms, we talked about this yesterday, neurological spasms. A good tool to relieve those spasms would be like ginger.
That's a good one. I've been putting that in our.
Go right to the ginger tea, and I just start drinking ginger tea.
Big ginger.
If you get migraine, stuff like that, that's a good one. Another great one is aloe vera.
To remove.
Yeah, the aloe vera, and
stuff.
We did a video on the aloe vera.
We had a special guest.
Cooler. I think it's like OJ and aloe vera. It's on our YouTube page. If you want to learn how to make it, it was done by a special guest that came up to the farm and showed everybody how to make it.
Yeah,
so,
that was fun.
That was.
I think she enjoyed it too.
We know she did.
Okay, so another good thing to bring in to heal those nerves is coconut water. So coconut water is going to provide you some good mineral salts, and as you might assume, it is very, very hydrating. Sorry, I keep touching my screen because my phone keeps going like it wants to shut off, so I have to keep going on there on Instagram. So another one is fennel. Fennel is a really great thing to bring in because it is antiviral. It is really good with knocking down Epstein-Barr virus. So like when we were healing Ben from that and his symptoms were really bad, we would juice the fennel, which was not my favorite thing to drink. Juice.
I enjoyed it a lot. That's a good one.
So if you really like fennel, you juice it. But I know you can also like chop it up in dishes and things like that.
Yeah.
So those are that stuff. Do you want to go into the next thing?
Yeah,
I lost my spot.
Let's talk about some fruit, because fruit is a very important thing when you are trying to heal neurological symptoms, because your body runs off of fruit. Yesterday we talked about the oxidation process, that things are oxidating in your body. They're rusting. Oxidants, antioxalates, so it prevents the oxidation from happening. Supply viruses too. Those antioxidants prevent the virus's neurotoxins from becoming so toxic to the body. Now, fruit also prevents, or you need fruit because your nerve cells all run off of fruit, right? So this is important because if you're consuming a high fat, high protein diet, you're never allowing the fruit to get to the nerve cell, because your blood is now thick and it's now preventing the fruit from making its way to the nerve cell.
Yeah.
And this is another reason we do not consume any meat products, they're
really high in fat.
Yeah, so like beef, chicken, lamb, pork. Pork's probably the highest in fat, and lamb, and then beef and chicken are, right there. And they all irritate the central nervous system, and they cause thick blood. So another thing that is high in fat that can thicken up the blood is soy. And a lot of soy is genetically modified. Now, with GMO foods, when you consume GMO foods, how the body responds is when that food eventually makes its way to the liver, your liver, like your factory, it's processing all of the stuff you're putting in its body, and it's converting it into usable nutrients and then releasing it to these GMO foods you're putting in your body. Your liver doesn't know how to processing it. Inflammation. That's what we're talking about right now is ways to avoid inflammation and recover your body from neurological symptoms.
So we try to keep our fats till dinner time because we want our body to cleanse. And there are days where we do no fats when we just kind of feel like we want a day fat free, and then of course we'll do any fat in them. But it's best to really limit your fats. That way your body can heal. And we choose to just keep it till dinner time. That again, so our bodies can really absorb the nutrients during the day fat free.
Yeah, like if you eat chicken, it stays in your bloodstream for 4 to 6 hours. So for 4 to 6 hours after you eat that food, your body can't cleanse, it can't heal. With pork, it stays in your system for like 14 to 16 hours. So you're basically wasting a whole when you have your pork in the morning for breakfast. So we've got to really lower these fats and stop consuming them early in the morning, because when you're sleeping, your body's not working. So, it's got the longest period of cleanse opportunity, right?
Yes.
So
I hope that their bodies are working when they're sleeping.
I'm sure they are.
Okay. So some fruits that are really good for the nerves would be papayas, raspberries, blackberries, pomegranates, mangoes, pears, apricots, peaches, sweet potatoes, butternut squash, and yams. So those are all going to be really good for your nerves if you're having some terrible neurological symptoms. Cranberries are a good one because they will stop the growth of bacteria, and something that's really good. Oh, and for viruses. And something that's really good to try is the cranberry water, the medical medium cranberry water. I just made that for us yesterday, and it was really good. So recommend trying that out, especially now when cranberries are.
Last live, right? His TikTok live.
Yes, yesterday, and so that's why I was like, oh, that looks good.
So the other thing is, there's other fruits out there too, and you need to get potassium in your body, and a lot of fruit contains potassium because potassium is critical for neurotransmitter functions. So you want to bring in potassium like bananas, dates, figs, potatoes, grapes, raisins, stuff like that, foods that are high in potassium, because that's really going to heal your neurological symptoms at a quicker rate.
Totally. And then melons are really good because they help pull out mold in your body, which is really good, and mold will knock down your immune system. So that's something good to also incorporate.
And it flushes out neurotoxins. So that's what we're talking about right now, is like the byproduct the virus creates. We need to get that out of the body. Well, how do you do it? Well, here you go. Melons, it's a great one. I know it's not in season right now. Sucks. Melons are my favorite. So
yeah.
It's unfortunate, but you can get some melons in right now.
Usually we'll still see like watermelons and like the basic melons out.
It's not as tasty.
I know. Oh, but you know what? The brand that sells the frozen dragon fruit for the little rescue smoothie. No. Okay. I forget the brand. I saw it online.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to find that. Also flush out the neurotoxins out of your bloodstream. Cucumber juice is a really good thing to try. I was just telling Ben that I've been craving that, so I'm gonna have to buy some cucumber soon. Oh, Ben just waved to someone. And I see there's a couple questions too. We will get to those, you guys, we promise. But yeah, cucumber juice is really good. And then if you're not a fan of cucumber juice, this is something where you could mix in apple with it. Like with celery juice, you don't want to mix anything with it. Cucumber, you could do some mixing. So like cucumber apple juice is also gonna have some benefits. Are going to lower viral and bacterial loads that are causing inflammation. So that's a good one.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of herbal tinctures you can be taking, and get Cleanse to Heal. If you don't have Cleanse to Heal already, get this book, because I think it's on like page 533. That's the page.
I know.
Just look at it.
I know.
So on 533, you can check it out, and he lists all the different herbs, herbal tinctures, supplements, all this stuff you should take to heal your neurological system. Lemon balm is extremely important, and that's something that when I was really sick, that was something I was doing a ton of. And he recommends 4 dropperfuls twice a day. And we were consuming it a lot. But Golden Seal, you have to kind of like take 2 weeks on to the central nervous system. And then zinc, we all need zinc. There is no more zinc in the foods we grow. So everybody is zinc deficient out there.
Yeah, so that's definitely like a top one.
Yeah,
that you should be consuming.
And then for supplements, you can try Celery Force. I used some Celery Force. I did a 30-day trial on it, and I actually felt great. It cleared up.
Yeah.
So I used that to heal some of the because brain fog is also a neurological thing. So Celery Force, I was doing like 3 capsules a day, I believe. That went out. That's on Vinegar.
And that one you want to take, I think it's you can either do.
Yeah.
Did you say that?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But yeah.
I didn't think so.
And then, 5-MTHF, that's a supplement. It will restore the liver and allow the liver to start to process and convert nutrients and minerals. And, something you might want to take once a day. Magnesium's a big one. I was doing a bunch of magnesium when I was, dealing with a lot of my stuff. Chaga mushroom, that's a good one. Oregano oil, you could take 1 capsule of oregano oil a day. That's good for the nerves. L-lysine. Now, this is an important one. L-lysine is antiviral and will actually knock down the viral load. So knock down viruses like Epstein-Barr virus, and shingles, and HPV 6 through 16, and the herpes 1 and 2, cytomegalovirus, all those viruses that bug us. So, I was doing like 5 of those twice a day, so like 10 a day. I think they're like 500 milligrams.
Yeah. On the 533 page, also lists the recommended quantities that you can take.
Yeah, and then curcumin's a big one because it will strengthen the central nervous system. So take some curcumin, 3 capsules twice a day. Do some micro C. We know it has ester C, but now it has changed its name to micro C. So that's your vitamin, and vitamin C is extremely important to knocking down these viruses.
Another top one to have.
So you want to do that like 5 in the morning, 5 at night.
Yeah, if you're dealing with neurological symptoms, it could just kind of vary. And the wild blueberry powder, that's a really good one too. You can either throw it in some coconut water, and that's really good, or you can throw it as like extra wild blueberries in your heavy metal smoothie.
And so like this is like the Vimergy Micro C, and this is a bunch of our supplements here.
We started making some.
Yeah, these are all our own because we started our own.
At our farm, there's a lot of wild herbs like plantain leaf, and we grew lemon balm, so we made our own lemon balm. So there's some things that we made ourselves with the help of our medicine man.
Yeah, go on our YouTube.
But yeah, check out our YouTube.
Yeah, check it out. He showed everybody how to make your own tinctures.
Mm-hmm.
Super important, you guys. You can go out and you can collect wild herbs or either your own medicine. And so
pretty cool.
In that video, he did a 3-part video with vegetable glycerin, organic vegetable glycerin, non-GMO, no alcohol, flax based. Because flax is like the binding compound, flax egg, that make sure it's flax based as well.
Yeah. So another thing that is also really good for your immune system is elderberry syrup, because it is antiviral and it's going to build your immune system. And this is something new for us, and you guys might have seen us talk about it already, but I just started putting together these elderberry syrup kits where you make it at home. And in the kit, it includes everything you need except for the water and the honey. So you basically, there's directions on the back. I will.
Okay.
There's directions on the back, and you basically dump all the ingredients into your pot on your stove. You cook it with the water, and then you put your favorite honey into it later. So I've created these kits that we've been I've been working on putting together. Like I said, the directions are on the back. It includes all of the recommended dosages for your daily dosage and for what you might take if you're feeling sick. And I based it off of the medical medium recipe with the amount of elderberries that he recommends, which I found is a lot more than other kits out there. So it is potent in that it's got a good amount of elderberries in there. And then I played around with the recipe and with the different spices. So it has ginger, cloves, and cinnamon powder with the elderberries. So really great. It makes about 16 ounces, and I'm working really hard to get this on our website. It's just taking some time with all the details.
This week.
It'll be up probably this week, by the end of the week. And if you want it sooner, though, you can just message me on here, and we can get that out to you sooner. But that, and then I'm also putting together a medical medium tea blend. So we'll have the plastic detox tea blend and the pesticide detox tea blend. And eventually we'll probably do more, but that's what we have for now. So I'm excited to get those up. And if you guys are eager for that now, just send me a message, talk details. But anyway, so that was a little bit of a tangent.
Yeah, but so that's what we have going on this winter,
Yeah, we're going to sell a bunch of microgreens and sprouts and stuff.
And we'll show you guys how to do it on some videos and on our YouTube. And I'm going to show you guys how to grow microgreens, so you can grow microgreens on your kitchen counter. How easy is that, right?
Or in your garage like us right now.
Yeah. So Ashley's worked really hard on putting these kits together, and if anybody is interested, it's cold and flu season.
Yep.
It's time to build that immune system up. There's a pandemic going on right now. It's more important than ever. Oh, okay.
We have a few questions, and then I know we have a little bit more content to get through.
Well, yeah, that's kind of, that's
I think
pretty
we're kind
much
of
it.
wrapped it up.
You guys tried the cleanses. Try his 28-day cleanse. Try his anti-bug cleanse in his new book. These are some cleanses you can do to speed up your healing process. So if you're dealing with some chronic, bad neurological symptoms and you want to speed that up, you got to do these cleanses.
The chronic boat type dizziness.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have that symptom? I did heal the light sound sensitivity and anxiety, but you're dealing with dizziness still. Yeah, Ben had that major time.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of like what set off.
That was the worst symptom I had, was the feeling like you're on a boat. You would be walking down the street, and all of a sudden you just lose it because you couldn't walk. You know, the sidewalk was moving. You have to grab onto a tree to just kind of like balance yourself up because you were off balance. And oh, yes, that was the worst. And that's caused by the central vagus nerve. We learned that in the video yesterday. So
yeah, just stick with Epstein-Barr protocols and, you know, a lot of these neurological things that we went over too.
Do the celery juice twice a day. That really helped me. And then also you can do the heavy metal detox smoothie twice a day.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he did that quite a bit. The Roots Report is asking, do you follow medical medium recipes too?
Of course.
Yes. Yeah, we don't have any of the Troublemaker foods, and we try out a lot of the medical medium recipes, you know, and make everything that's basically compliant. We are so grateful for this information and what it's done for Ben that there's no way we could ever like go back to eating how we used to eat.
Yeah, and Cleanse to Heal's got so many good recipes. I know you probably already know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky.
What's my favorite melon is the canary melon.
Also known, we've also heard it called as a froggy melon.
Froggy melon, yeah, that's a good one too.
Lindsay Land says, I just found your YouTube channel today and binge watched your videos. Love what y'all are doing. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. You're going to get a nice video this week. We're going to be releasing one this week. We did some mushroom hunting.
Yeah, so up at our farm in the very top of California near the Oregon border. We're like out in the woods. We did some mushroom hunting, which was really cool. We got some wild chanterelle mushrooms. And then we also have a bunch of other videos that we filmed that are on the docket to be edited and released. So
a lot of gardening ones.
Gardening that, yeah, we'll mix in with a lot of healing videos.
But try to get everybody to the point where they can do their own garden. Right. So like my goal before the next season is to get everybody that follows us and everybody that's into gardening, doing more gardening, growing your own food because it's so important. And you know, it's the best food. It's the freshest. You can go outside and pick it and eat it. And it's going to heal you way quicker than the food that's a week old that you get in the grocery stores.
Yeah. So
cool.
Did you have any final words?
I would say that, you know, these neurotoxic symptoms, they suck and they can make you feel like you're going backwards. And it's hard to have that feeling, right? Because you're doing all the right things, you're trying to heal yourself, and then all of a sudden, boom, you go backwards. Well, just remember that you're taking more steps forward than you are backwards. So we were driving to the market the other day, and I was saying to Ashley, you know, I remember going to these markets and having that on a boat, the dizziness on a boat, and I'd have to go sit in the car because I couldn't even walk. I couldn't even walk around people.
I would have to finish shopping at the market without them.
And now I don't have any of those problems. It's like I can walk through the market. We've made friends with a lot of the farmers at the market now, so it's like we enjoy going to the market, where before when I was sick, it was like a struggle to even get out of bed to go to the market.
Yep.
So
and now we're selling at the farmer's market, not here, but up where the farm is.
So think about all of your wins. You know, take those little wins and ride them, ride that healing wave, you know, because those little wins are a really big deal. You know, trust me, every little thing you do to heal yourself is a big deal. Okay. And healing takes time, and the medical medium protocols, they're going to heal you. It's just going to take some time. And as long as you stay focused and committed and know that you're on the right track, it doesn't matter what anybody else tells you.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be haters out there all day long that are going to tell you, you know, why are you eating this way? You're crazy. You know, like, you know, you should be eating bread. You should be eating eggs. You know, you should be eating dairy. You're getting too skinny. Eat more meat. No, you guys you're on the right track.
It takes patience.
Keep
Takes
it up.
A lot of patience.
It's a lot of hard work, but it's worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, thanks you guys for joining us. This was fun. And if you have any questions later, you can always
Message us
or comment on this video. We'll put it up in our IGTV and on our YouTube to our YouTube peeps. Yeah. So, all right. Thank you, you guys. See you later.
See ya.